Well, that just happened, guys. Welcome to the Spike Hair Podcast. The Oscars have just finished, and it's nearly 5 in the morning here, but I don't even care because... Wow. Wow. This is, I'm going to try and not edit this video as much because... Fuck, the Oscars this year was so damn good. And spoiler alert, history was made tonight, guys. History was made. I don't know if it's just my emotions talking. I don't know if it's the whiskey talking. You know, I'm having a few drinks along with the Oscars. It was up there at the start. Now it's down here. I don't even feel drunk. I don't. But worth mentioning anyway, because I'm going to say cheers to Bong Joon-ho. I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, because you, my friend, in fact your entire cast and crew have made fucking history tonight, my friend. This has been a fantastic award show. Again, spoiler alert, Parasite has won not only Best Director, but Best Picture. A South Korean film has won Best Picture at the Oscars. I never ever want to see an Oscars so white hashtag ever again, because the Oscars across the board, across a lot of categories, was just diverse in several ways. Yes, there was needed 4 acting categories and directing, of course, but can you argue with a lot of the nominations for acting? Actress maybe, but the acting category, the directing category, can you really argue with most of those nominations? Not really. And I don't want to see token nominations. I want to see legitimate films that deserve these nominations, and Parasite was by far one of those. I do confess that I had to binge watch a few films because Parasite only got released on Friday in the UK, and the cinema I go to had to close down yesterday because we have a little bit of a hurricane in the UK at the moment. It's blown like the actual window straight into the bloody a foyer area of the cinema. So how am I gonna see Parasite and Little Woman? And Marriage Story I can watch Netflix, so I did watch that, but I had to see Little Woman and Parasite still today, so I had to do the carnal sin to see him. But about 15 hours ago, I watched Parasite, and it blew me away. I didn't think anything could top 1917, but Parasite blew me away. So seeing the awards tonight and seeing the reactions, the fact that Bong Joon-ho gets up on stage and says, after we won Best Language Film, no, Best International Film is the new name for it, so I do apologise. Best International Film, I thought we're done. Nah, mate, you ain't done. You are not done, my friend. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about generally the awards in general. Now, there are some categories I don't fully agree with on who won. There were some films I thought got hard done by. Like Joker, I thought deserved a couple more awards maybe, but did get the 2 it most deserved. The score, for example, is iconic. I can listen to that in my head over and over again without even struggling to remember any of the chords in it. And Joaquin Phoenix, as usual, wins the Best Actor category, even though there's some fantastic performances in acting this year. Seriously, Willem Dafoe, Leonardo DiCaprio, Christian Bale, Adam Driver, and Marriage Story as well. Just so many good performances in acting in the year of 2019-2020. That film season swamped with great acting performances. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but there were so many good performances in that category. But Joaquin Phoenix did a fantastic speech. He's been doing fantastic speeches throughout this entire award circuit, has Joaquin Phoenix, and he has been brilliant. He actually made me, I don't know when I have coffee again, I'll probably change my mind when I wake up. I will probably do that, but his speech about just equality across the board when it comes to racism, sexism, animal cruelty, all sorts of these things, socialism, He smashes speeches out the park. The Bong Joon-ho did have the best speech in the entire night for Best Director. He made a point just to be like, look, Scorsese, you're amazing. Irishman didn't win anything. Irishman got nominated for a lot of awards, didn't win a single thing. Yet, I'm pretty sure Scorsese won't mind because he got a standing ovation at Bong Joon-ho's request, and it was a beautiful moment. Bong Joon-ho even got Quentin Tarantino to smile. He got fucking Tarantino to smile. He's been looking moody this entire award season. I almost started to feel like Tarantino was being a bit bitter towards awards this season. But I digress. Let's talk about some of the other categories. One of my favourite surprises in this award season was Ford v Ferrari. Now, I love that film. It was fantastic. The fact Christian Bale, I don't think he was even nominated, if I remember correctly. He wasn't even nominated for the award. No, because it was Leo, Joaquin Phoenix, Adam Driver, Antonio Banderas, and... I forget his name. His Game of Thrones, Jonathan Pryce. They were nominated. So people like Adam Sandler, Eddie Murphy, and Christian Bale were all snubbed. I think Christian Bale was fantastic in that film. It sucks I wasn't nominated. Before V Ferrari did win Best Sound Editing and Best Film Editing. Now, sound editing, I appreciate that. I thought it was going to win it. I'm glad it did. But film editing, I was very surprised. Everyone thought 1917 was going to do it because it was so seamless, their editing. But I'm so glad Ford v Ferrari has 2 Oscar wins under its belt. I am very happy about that. Renee Zellweger did win Best Actress in the Actress category, and Laura Dern won Best Supporting Actress. Now, after seeing all the performances, I'll be honest, I don't really like Laura Dern's performance in comparison to some of the others. Even Margot Robbie, who I was just like, oh, is this another token nomination? No, she does fantastic in her movie. Scarlett Johansson is great in Jojo Rabbit. I thought those two deserved it a little bit more. Can't really comment on the Best Actress category. As much as I wanted ScarJo to win, I've not seen Judy. That is one of the films I did miss, and I feel like I should go watch it now purely for that performance. It's one of those films that sort of like, it came out of my cinema, but there was so many films that came out around the same time that I just never had the time to go watch it, because at my cinema, you have to only ask to go see a film for free if it's not going to be busy, and Judy was rammed constantly. Same with Little Woman. I didn't see it until quite late yesterday, actually, because of how busy it has been in my local cinema, and just trying to get in to see it has been a real pain for me. But I digress from there. So my camera decided to get a full memory after I was talking about the Judy bit, and I went up for another 3 minutes, so I'm not exactly sure where the camera cut off. So I'll start again from my points on Jojo Rabbit. I'm glad that it won Best Adapted Screenplay. I thought it was really clever, that script. The fact that the scene they showed in the actual award ceremony was a scene that I completely forgotten about, because there were so many scenes I was thinking like, that's brilliant, that's brilliant, that's brilliant, that's brilliant, and they chose a scene when Joe was trying to bait out the Jewish girl. That was a fantastic little scene in the show. I'm so glad that Jojo got some awesome recognition. I feel like it would have been a contender for Best Picture. It wasn't paired against so many strong films this year. It was truly fantastic. Bombshell also won an award for Best Hair, Makeup and Styling. Personally, I feel like Maleficent, out of that category, had the better hair and makeup. Just the designs on these fairies was absolutely fantastic to see across all these different characters and showing different tribes with each one. But Bombshell, I feel like, was a really interesting film, so I'm glad it can at least say it is an Oscar winner in some sense of the word. And Margot Robbie was fantastic, so I am glad that there is some light being shined on that particular film. Best Supporting Actor, of course, Brad Pitt won that. It was one of the certs going into the film, and what can you really say about his performance? It was fantastic. It outshone Leo by a little bit. Personally, I thought Leo was the better performer in the film, but I seem to be in the minority on that front. Elton John won his second Oscar for Learn to Love Me Again, which was very well deserved, I will not lie. Into the Unknown was a fun one, and it has grown on me over time. Toy Story 4 did win the Best Animated Feature, so Pixar have taken their title back from other companies. I'm disappointed how The Training Dragon 3 Day in the World hasn't gotten more love, but when you watch all 3 of them back to back, it's the second one is easily the best one out of those ones. But apparently Klaus is very good. I have not seen Klaus, so it's something I will need to see within the next couple of days. just to appreciate it more than it is currently being appreciated. And obviously Parasite did win the Best International Film, and like Bong Joon-ho said, he thought it was him done for the night, and I think a lot of us, I don't think any of us at the start of this really dared to believe that the Oscars will legitimately let Parasite win. But my God, is that film fantastic. When we got to the Best Director category, everyone thought Sam Mendes was a lot. Everyone thought Sam Mendes was 100% going to win this, and I am gutted for 1917 because that film is brilliant. It is a fantastic visual piece of storytelling. That scene where the soldier comes out next to the church on the bottom right is probably my favourite shots in the history of film. I want to have that framed on my wall. In terms of scenes, I want to see that singing scene over and over again. It's such a beautiful, melancholy scene. But when Parasite was chosen to have the Best Director award, everyone went nuts. It was crazy. And then we thought, is it going to happen? Will it actually do it? And they did. Parasite, a South Korean international film in a foreign language, has just gone and won the Best Picture Academy Award. That entire cast is going to be getting wasted right now. It's early morning for me, but for them it's quite late. So drinks on you guys. It is fantastic. I'm trying to quickly think of what other films won awards that I've not mentioned yet. 1917 did win a couple of awards. They did win the sound mixing, which, fair enough, very well deserved. I am a little disappointed that Avengers Endgame didn't win the special effects category, purely because I feel like the MCU does need its pat on the back, its acknowledgement of what it's done for cinema over the last decade and a little bit now. But we can't have everything, unfortunately, and I look forward to where Marvel goes from here. Maybe Marvel never will win an award, but we know that Endgame was a fantastic send-off to all them years of build-up. And now to finish off this little reaction, or whatever you want to call it, I'm just going to call this what happened at the Oscars. Oh, almost forgot. Eminem makes an appearance in this film. Apparently he didn't perform in 2002 when he was nominated for the Oscar for Best Original Song that he did win for Lose Yourself. I was honestly 7 years old at the time, so I wouldn't be able to appreciate it back then or even watch the Oscars. I don't think 7-year-old me would have cared about the Oscars. My love for film came when I was like 14, and I was watching Fight Club, and it was getting really late because it was a really late that film was finishing at like 2, 3 in the morning. And I pressed record to catch the end of it. My dad saw I'd put it on record the next morning, and when he was at work on his lunch break, he went out and brought me Fight Club on DVD and just gave it to me when I got home from school. So that is probably where my true love of film did start. But aside from getting sentimental, it was just great to see Eminem on stage singing this song. Yeah, not everyone got it according to some of the Twitter film reviewers that I do follow. But for me, I loved it. And everyone that grew up with that song and knows that song, don't lie, you were belting it out. At least internally, you were belting that song out. But yeah, the Oscars made history tonight. I kind of knew Parasite was going to win after the Best Director, because Oscars do like to make a bit of history. They like to do the first thing and make the big headlines and the big news. But that doesn't take away from the fact that out of the Best Picture nominees, Parasite was by far the best film, so they have made the right choice. This was not just a publicity stunt. This was by far the right choice. And I hope there's some great change in cinema from this point forward. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but we can appreciate this moment now, because anyone that stayed up in the UK to watch it, we've witnessed history tonight. And I can't remember the last time I had such a good time watching the Oscars. I need to thank Ryan O'Toole and his brother for doing a live stream of the Oscars. So I'm watching the Oscars and chatting with them in chat at the same time. Glad some YouTubers were doing it. I was tweeting with Ren as well during the ceremony. Glad I was tweeting with him. It's just nice to collaborate with fellow film fans around the world. And I think that's why we really do this and talk about film, is that people just watch some blockbusters and they won't really care about anything else, but for us film buffs, this was a great show to watch. And while we may not agree on everything, and we do disagree on several things, Birds of Prey seems to be one of the things at the moment. But for this one night, there was actual... I can't put my word in it. There was a togetherness tonight, across the board. And the Oscars, you did a great show tonight. You did a fantastic job. And yeah, here's looking forward to what cinema brings us in the next 12 months. So, to my fellow film buffs, film fans, film reviewers, here's to you guys. You make loving film all the more worthwhile. And here's hoping to collaborate with some of you guys soon. Anyway, this is that Spikehead Podcast, guys, signing off.